I want to do this video on the idea of YouTubers that say at the end of videos, like, share, subscribe, comment, and that kind of marketing for their YouTube channel. There's nothing wrong with that, depending on what you're trying to do, what your niche, what your market is, if you want that for your personal brand. I'm just going with the concept in general. I don't do that with mine, just because even growing up too in other areas of life other than YouTube, just noticing the way things work in terms of success, in terms of manifesting things, I feel that it's better to be producing YouTube content organically, letting people come to their own conclusions, because when you're looking at things more balanced anyways, why should you have more, whether it's like subscribers or money, than another person? So how does that affect someone else? So not everybody has to like your content or agree with your content. They can disagree with it, they can dislike it, they don't have to subscribe, they don't have to support you, you're not really supporting them. So it's just better to be in a flow state of whatever the content is. Like if you're doing music, if you're writing books, if you're starting a business, if you're doing any kind of art or craft or brand, it's better to just be in the flow state of doing that and providing that product, providing that service, and just letting the day-to-day process unfold and learning from each day-to-day experience and mistakes and how can I improve something. Even today I'm selling at La Jolla Cove in San Diego with my business La Jolla Cove Headwear, and I have a couple other items on consignment, but as I'm making money back over the summer, I'm recouping the money from the consignment items and then putting it into my own items. So one of these new ones I have is this hat that I put La Jolla on it with like a tiny little sea lion, like golf style Nike with the tiny sea lion logo, but it's not the sea lion isn't a major part of the hat, so it's just like enough. The letters aren't too big, it's like a neutral color. So for the first hat of my own, what I wanted to do was to try to get something universal to start with, because I'm just trying to see what sells the most. And that's the thing, you throw stuff at the wall, see what sticks, and if someone likes one item better in terms of a color or a style, then you just know, you learn from that experience, that day-to-day work, that grind. You just know, okay, I can have more of this than that, and I can try this product. And I got these new hat racks. I used to have the hats laying on the table, but now getting them vertically raised is just another good investment for your business. But the same thing kind of goes back with YouTube. A lot of people that want to start a YouTube channel or a business, they just see themselves like, oh, I have 0 subscribers, but it's just like nobody owes you the subscription in the first place. So it's better to be in that flow state of just doing the work. And I understand the marketing aspect of it. It's not a bad thing, it's just a thing. It's someone's personal choice on whether they put that at the end or whether they have nicely edited videos. For the money that I make in my life and trying to live very minimalist, just getting like the nicest phone isn't very important to me. I've never had an iPhone, I just have basic Androids and text call, internet, just basics, but that's just how I want to do it. So the way that I'm doing just vlogs like this, I don't care about just doing an unedited take on just a average phone and not having software where I go in and cut and like an intro towards my channel, because I made the channel my name too. So I wanted to do that, keep it open-ended, because maybe I do want to do some kind of business like La Jolla Cove Headwear where I put certain content where, okay, now I have editing through software and I make some sort of like intro or conclusion or ending or effects based on marketing a product for the business. But in terms of just like the day-to-day vlogs, I just don't really care and I don't really think about it. I just have the topic or the title of the video and I just go for it off the top. And that's just how I feel is the best method for it, with what I've learned too, because it's natural too. When I mentioned before about the marketing and wanting to get your stuff out there and like, oh, subscribe, like, and it's a good way to pump yourself up and it's a good strategy if that's what you choose to do. But part of that for trying to expand is that people are going to like or dislike regardless, or they're going to agree or disagree regardless. So just on a personal, energetic level, day to day, the less you care about it, just the more it's naturally going to come, the more that people can naturally respect the work. the more people will naturally see it, because sometimes people won't see it. Like, you go to a friend or a family member to start a business, and they just ask you, oh, well, how much money did you make today, or how much like did you do of this, and it just like misses the point, because if you say $1 million, then they just get jealous of what you're doing, and if you say 50, then they just say, oh, well, I told you so, or just like some, so it, like they're just not, they're not in that balanced state. Like I'm mentioning with the YouTube channel, they're not in that balanced flow state of just doing the work. So when someone doesn't understand something that they think is outside the box, like maybe selling a hat, but they wear hats, they buy them from other places, just like Nike or their local sports team, just some other company. They just don't get that you're the one that's doing it. They don't get, oh, well, because like now you're going to make the money from it, so what does your increased position in the world mean for my perspective of what's going on? So there's all of that. And so you're trying to convince someone about a YouTube channel, regardless of who it is. Once you reach 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours on that channel, you can get monetized. And so in a situation like life where you have to eat and pay rent and there's bills, you becoming successful on that platform or whatever it is you're doing, that changes how people think of their own situation too. So if you become this big YouTuber and people think, oh, well, you're just making money residually off of the YouTube channel, then their whole sense of like their own food source is different, because they likely didn't even believe you'd do it. They likely laughed at it, or just like didn't understand it, or they're just, the way they think about things is like, oh, the subscriber count or the paycheck is the worth of that person. So that's just how they think of it. So now to see you be successful at it, and then you can use that money to pay for food or shelter, rent, mortgage, whatever, travel. Now they see something about your lifestyle that's affecting like their own decisions. Like maybe if they like weren't partying so much, or if they just weren't so negative and doubtful on themselves, and they had started a channel when you started one, maybe that would be them in the present day kind of stuff. So it's just like their own decisions being reflected by anything that you're trying to do. So the whole, hey, like check out my channel, whether you try to tell a family member, a friend, a coworker, a classmate, just anybody, anyone on the street, you know, they have their own bills to pay too. Like, are you supporting them? Are you supporting their YouTube channel? Are you supporting their business? That's the irony of people that want to start a business. I went to college for a little bit, dropped out sophomore year in November. I didn't even finish the semester, I just left. And I was a business marketing major though. And I just started looking at the world more nuanced in general. Part of starting a business is just getting out here and trying it and doing the work. You can go to Harvard Business School, and if you just don't have the confidence, like, oh, well, what if I don't make sales? It's like, well, come out and try. You might not, and then you learn, and then you make a sale. So like there's just more of a street knowledge to that in terms of just how to do it, just how to conduct business. So coming out here and starting a business or starting that YouTube channel, you know, people think like, oh, well, like why would that work, or how's that even possible? But they're just like watching a YouTube channel. They're just like watching Netflix. They're just buying from a business. So just you getting into that flow state of providing the product and not listening to what they have to say, just provide the product or the service, and the right people that want it or need it or think they need it, it'll come that way. Because that's the thing too, is that you're going to spend all this energy trying to convince somebody, and they're just going to have that kind of restaurant mentality where, oh, well, if it has 1,000 reviews, then that must mean it's good. If it has 0 reviews, then it's probably bad. How's it going?
Hi. How much is your turtle?
This is 25, I think. Yeah. So this actually unzips and then it becomes a pillow. So it's like a stuffed animal turtle on the outside, unzips, becomes a pillow. It's 25.
Oh, okay. How is it a pillow? Oh, it's just like a something you lay on?
So like you unzip that, and then this pillow is like all tucked into this turtle, so it can be both like the turtle and the,
it does
yeah.
face the world. I mean, would you take 20 for it?
I'll do 20.
Okay. All right. Do you take Venmo?
I do take Venmo. Let me get that up. So those are one of those YouTube examples that I've had in other videos where a customer will come up and it'll break, and usually I just keep it in the video, but if they do purchase something, it takes a while, then I'll just cut it and then continue the video. But like I was saying, the restaurant mentality, if it has 1,000 reviews, people think automatically that's a great restaurant. Oh, other people reviewed it, other people gave it 5 stars, whatever. If it has 0 reviews, they just think, oh, I'm gonna get food poisoning, I can't be the first person eating here. But they don't know, like, they could be in California, the chef could have been a 5-star restaurant chef in New York and just moved here last week and started the business, and you just think that it's not going to be good because, oh, someone else would have already said this was good. And that's why it's hard to start anything like a YouTube channel or a business or getting your life together, moving up the ladder, is because you don't have that social proof in the eyes of other people, or their perspective on it is just different based on the amount of success or a certain level in their mind that they would deem as talented, all of that. So when you're trying to convince somebody in terms of like, comment, share this video, and subscribe to my channel, when you have those intros or those outros on the video, when you're just starting a YouTube channel, it's different too than when you've kind of gone for a little bit in terms of time and just the amount of subscribers and how you're growing with that. But like I said, it's like a personal choice that you have on whether you're gonna ask for it or not. But the reason that I just kind of do it all unedited, like I mentioned before with just using my name as the channel, is because I don't want to box myself into, oh, this is a gardening channel, this is a music channel, this is a vlog channel, because I might want to do all of that and then put my business on it, or years down the line I'm older and my life circumstance is different for whatever reason, so now I do that with my channel. So that's just how I wanted to brand it. So then at that point, if I want to do music or something, or stand-up comedy or public speaking in some fashion, then I can have like the nicer camera, and then I can be older, I would have made more money. I'm just like an older man in general in a lot of ways, whether it's like physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So all of that combined, and just knowing how that could change with your channel. And I think the organic process, it's going to be a better peace of mind for you, especially for people trying to start their YouTube channel or their business or their art or their craft, because you just have to put in the burden of performance in their mind. Because if they're already shopping at Nike, if they're already shopping at Under Armour or Walmart, they just think, oh, well, that store already existed when I was born, so that's their default state, like, oh, that's already a store. Here you come along and they just don't see you in that context. So, but that's where people just stop, because they just think that the product sucks or the service sucks because someone else doesn't get the perspective. And that's why, whether you say on a YouTube video, hey, subscribe to my channel, hey, like this post, hey, comment, it goes back too, because they have goals, they have dreams, they have bills, they have jobs. So it's like there's a 50-50 to it. So why should your channel be more successful than somebody else's? And so the simplest advice, but the best advice, is really just to do it. Now you can use that marketing strategy to your advantage too, because it can work. If you just like genuinely want to promote your stuff and you have that outro at the end that says, please like, comment, share, subscribe this video, then more power to you, and that's gonna work. And both perspectives on it are valid. But that's just why, for me and my explanation, that I choose not to. I just like to do it organic, and the success with it will come. And I know it can be frustrating for a lot of people at first, because they feel like if nobody's subscribing or liking it within a certain amount, then their video sucks or their business sucks or whatever. But my first year of YouTube, I was 21 years old. I went from 0 to 40 subscribers in 1 year. I'm 27 now. Now I'm at the point where I'm doing about 40 subscribers every 3 weeks. So there's the snowball effect. There's the exponential growth. There's just the compounding interest. And that's something that you gotta think mentally, is if I'm this age and I want this thing out of life, it's not about being 21 and saying, oh, well, if I don't get a Lambo by 22, then this YouTube channel failed. It's not about that. It's like, hey, you could go into your 30s, you could have residual income, and that's what you could be doing by that time, because because you're doing the work and everyone else is going to be distracted. They're just going to be watching someone else's channel. They're just going to think it's not realistic. So you just need to start chipping away at it. You need to do the day-to-day work, because they don't want you to make it out of the crab barrel with whatever it is that you're doing. It could be YouTube, it could be your business, it could be actually being successful at something that they don't comprehend, and they don't want you to make it out of the barrel. So the simplest advice of just doing it is the best advice there is. Because a lot of people get discouraged when they put all the editing into the video, like, hey, I got this $10,000 phone or this $10,000 camera, I'm gonna start this YouTube channel, and then they get depressed because in the first year they did 10 subscribers. It's like, it's not the camera, it's not the quality, it's just it's everything. It's like whether someone even comes across it. If you have 10 subscribers, YouTube doesn't even pump your stuff out enough because of the algorithm. So there's the algorithm too. So they're just going to promote higher channels, because the higher channels, when they run the ads, it makes them more money. So it's in YouTube's best interest to have good content creators. So it's kind of the concept like the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. That's a very real thing. So you really have to understand the importance of starting at the bottom. And that's going to be the hardest work. Is the beginning's always the hardest, because you haven't built the traction yet. You haven't pushed the flywheel. You're pushing a heavy flywheel, and to get it around one rotation, it takes all your energy. You can barely do it on one rotation, but the second rotation, you're compounding the interest, and it's a little bit easier to turn it. The third rotation is a little easier to turn it, and then as you continuously turn it, eventually the flywheel is just picking up so much momentum that it just goes on its own, because you pushed it in the beginning. Same thing with the snowball. The snowball's at the top of the hill. You push it in the beginning, and as it's going down the hill, it's collecting more snow, and it builds. And if you can see that with what it is you're doing with your goal, then that's going to be a very good way to go about it. With my own YouTube channel, people that have commented or told me that they have shared my videos, have liked it, had told a friend, and or told somebody, and that person also subscribed. Thanks for doing that. And I know I don't ask for it at the end of my videos. I kind of just do the topic and I just leave it at that. But anyone that has shared my videos or continues to, or thought this channel should be more successful, then thank you for that. And I just hit 2,000 earlier in the month, and it's just getting more to that point where it's starting to get more exponential growth. And I just received a paycheck on the 21st, because YouTube pays you once a month around the 21st of the month, and there's a threshold of $100 of the Google AdSense. So you have to make at least $100 that month for Google to pay you. Otherwise, it's just going to roll over until you've made $100. Then they'll pay you on the 21st of that month. Right now, my channel, with barely hitting 2,000 subscribers, I make about $1 to $2 a day from YouTube. So it's obviously not like any kind of bills, but I haven't been paid in a couple months, and so I had a $104 paycheck a couple days ago on the 21st from my YouTube ads. That's just with the 2,000 people on this channel from watching my content. So $100, that's gas, that's food. So, and the people on this channel that watch this, you guys don't owe me anything, so that's appreciated. But see, people don't have that context too with business. Like the irony of business of what I'm talking about is, oh, I want to start a business, I want to be successful. It's like, yeah, but what does your success do to what about someone else's success? It's like, is your success like, oh, I have this free time in this mansion because I have like 1,000 minimum wage workers and I don't pay them? Like, what is the teeter-totter of your success? And so if you can find the humor of it and just kind of look at it more balanced, then you can make your own decision on whether you do the channel organically or whether you have the intro and outro of please like, share, subscribe, comment.